Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
It's a low energy introduction.
that's so weird. Stop it.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome back to Michaelandbenjaminspodcast podcast. Welcome back to Tiny Room. I'm Michaelandbenjaminspodcast. Benjamin's over there.
Hell yeah.
Look, we got that quickly out of the way because we're better off telling everyone that this episode is mostly going to be about Endgame, Marvel's Endgame, Marvel's The Avengers 4, The Infinity War 2, The Endgame. And if you haven't seen it, just don't listen to it. Just don't listen to it.
Yeah, this episode's not for you.
It's we're gonna do some non-spoilery stuff, but we're gonna accidentally spoil something. That's one of Ben's favorite things to do.
It's almost the only reason I'm on a podcast.
Yeah, just ruining people's joy. So look, just don't listen to it. If you haven't seen Endgame yet, just don't listen to it. It's not worth it.
But by all means, go watch Endgame and then listen to it.
Yeah, or not, because I mean, Marvel doesn't pay us if we get people to go see Endgame.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the theme music?
Theme music for the podcast. We don't actually have any theme music, but I hope someone will mix them up for us. I don't wanna name any names. Rachel, I hope it's Rachel.
Very good, excellent. Benjamin, there was a little bit of what you call the lull, the Schwarzschild radius of. No, is that what it's called?
Gonna have to explain that one to me.
It was a black hole joke.
Ah.
It's the point at which once you pass it, you can't escape from the gravity of the black hole.
Oh.
I think
That happened to me last week when I drank too much.
How did you escape then?
Because I have special powers beyond space and time.
Like Kevin Sorbo from the TV show Andromeda.
Yeah, exactly.
He escaped from a black hole.
Did he?
He did, yeah. That's
That
the
doesn't-
setup.
Ah.
That's how they end up out of time.
Ah. I didn't know Andromeda took place out of time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's set in the future, but then Kevin Sorbo gets stuck in a black hole for 400 years.
Oh, that's a long
And
time.
then, yeah, but not that long in future space where...
So he has future tech and he goes back?
No, he has future tech, but then he goes to more future, but things have regressed.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh, how interesting.
No, it's not great.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
mean, well, it is. It's decent enough. Why the hell are we talking about
So anyway,
Andromeda?
Michael, we were talking about the lull or the dead space that we're currently
That's what we're
existing in. Look, Endgame was out on Thursday.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone to see it.
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't. If you haven't, by the way, don't know if you heard the intro, but go away. Also, look, news websites all across the internet are losing their shit about this film.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons that we'll get into when we're more spoiler heavy.
Yeah.
But as a result of the massive success, and it does look like it's going to be a massive success
Well, we'll talk about box office
at
later.
the current time. Nobody's touching this week. Nobody's launching anything. Nobody's weighing in on anything new. Nothing. No groundbreaking material is being done because they don't want it to be washed away
By Endgame.
by Endgame.
Ben, one thing that did have the cojones, the huevos rancheros, it's young Nick Fury.
I didn't know that you could oppose the feat.
Yeah. Great podcasting once again, us
Yeah.
handling an action figure that the audience can't see.
You want to do a little bit of ASMR with the action figure?
No, leave young Nick Fury alone.
As he clasped him to his bosom.
Ben, one thing that did have the bravery to go up against Marvel's Endgame was the season finale of the TV show Batman's version of Smallville, Gotham. Yeah.
Arguably better than Smallville.
It was better than
In several
Smallville.
ways.
But look, you can't take away from the ground that Smallville broke.
No, it was
It was crap.
the granddaddy. It was awful.
Smallville was terrible.
Yeah.
But it set the tone for the CW style superhero epic.
I can almost guarantee that Riverdale wouldn't exist outside of Smallville.
Well, Arrow wouldn't exist, Ben.
Yeah.
And Gotham wouldn't exist.
Gotham probably wouldn't exist.
Supergirl wouldn't exist. The whole
I don't think that would be a bad thing.
Supergirl is fine.
It's terrible.
Ben, anyway, I watched the finale.
Yes.
I watched season 1 and season 2. And
When it
then
was
I
out.
watched and then I watched the finale. Spoilers for the season finale of Gotham. It's not really about Batman, is it?
Not at all.
No, because he's not in it really.
Not at all.
He does a batarang,
Yes.
and he does a standing on a roof being a small boy
Moody.
in a too big batsuit.
Yeah. It's no good.
Because he's only 17, Ben. The
no
actor.
good.
There's not a lot you can do
there's
about
not
it.
much you can do with him. Well, they did a time jump.
They did
Michael.
do a time
They
jump.
did a classic time jump. And Selena Kyle got much sexier.
She was replaced by a different actress.
Yes.
Because Cameron Bicondova
The original Catwoman.
The original Selena Kyle
Yeah.
decided she didn't want to play adult Catwoman.
Oh, that's weird.
She felt she had played her from the ages of 13 to 18, and it wouldn't be right for her to play her at the age of 28.
Fair. Made the right call.
Yeah, she doesn't look like an adult.
Yeah, she doesn't. She has eternal child face.
Well, also her own personal sense of style has gone a very different route to
Really?
what the producers of that show probably thought when they were casting her as a child.
Ah.
She hasn't, I think, aged the way they probably expected their Catwoman to age.
Oh dear.
But yeah, look, it's all right. It's fine.
It was grand. Look, it got very convoluted there for a while.
All TV shows do, though, man.
Yeah, there were some very strong elements of Joel Schumacher Batman, I felt, in the finale.
There's only one TV show that didn't get more and more convoluted as it went on, and that was the TV show The Leftovers, which you know,
love.
is quite good, Ben.
Yeah, which you love. Yeah, look, it was... I don't know if I ever needed to see campy versions of the villains that they'd worked so hard to build into realistic kind of...
Yeah, but then they made them camp.
Yeah,
and Penguin was a bit fat.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And not Harley Quinn remained not Harley Quinn.
Yeah, fucking Barbara Lee. What was that about?
No, well, Barbara Gordon turned good again in the end.
Yeah, but just pick one.
But they had a character who wasn't Harley Quinn called Echo.
Echo is a famous Riddler henchwoman.
Yeah, but she was the Joker's henchwoman in this,
I
and
know.
she was Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And she was kind of an echo of Harley Quinn.
Oh.
But then Echo, Ben, spoilers here, she gets killed in the finale.
Classic.
And Joker says something along the lines of, there are plenty more fish in the sea.
Which is in keeping with the new Harley Quinn canon in the comics.
Oh.
There's a whole thing in the end of the Scott Snyder Endgame thing where Harley Quinn realizes... he originally had the original end to Scott Snyder's run on Batman was Endgame.
Huh.
But in that, Harley Quinn realizes she was one of many Harley Quinns that the Joker had seduced and used and abused.
Oh, that's quite a twist.
Yes, what a twist.
Scott Snyder likes a twist.
Yeah, he loves a twist. Loves a twist. Good writer, Scott Schneider. Remains strong. Tom King wants to be him, can't be him.
You think Tom King is not my friend Tom King?
Not your friend Tom King. Heroes in Crisis finished up.
People didn't like it.
People didn't like. Well, he butchered a very beloved character.
Ball bags. Yeah, beloved character.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's been following it, but basically spoilers for Heroes in Crisis if you haven't read it. But basically, there's a murder mystery at a psychological unit for superheroes. It's all hush hush, super secret.
Mm-hmm.
And the three possible whodunits are Harley Quinn, Booster Gold, and Wally West was supposed to be dead. But he came back
he probably
later in
did
the
it.
issue.
He probably did it then.
And it turns out that it's Wally West. But this is a big fuck up on Tom King's part.
My friend Tom King.
No, not your friend Tom King. Tom King loves to mess around with beloved characters. Tom King, not your friend Tom King.
Right, yeah, very good.
And one of the things that he does here is he makes Wally West the main villain. It's a I can't control my powers thing. For anyone who isn't a Flash fan, that might seem like nothing to take a lesser Flash and do that with, because Barry Allen is kind of the established Flash again.
Yeah.
But for many people who grew up in the 90s,
for example,
early 2000s, like me, who watched the Justice League show that Bruce Timm did.
But the Justice League show that Bruce Timm did, Ben, it didn't matter which Flash that was.
Well, it was Wally West.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Wally West.
I thought it was Barry Allen.
No, you see, this is the thing.
But that's what I'm saying. It didn't matter.
And there are big differences between Wally West and Barry Allen in terms of characterization. Barry Allen is very much science-based. Wally West is very much quippy-based and relaxed, like he is in the JLA cartoon.
Right.
To Bruce Timm does. And he's very beloved by many, many fans. And when the New 52 kicked off, they erased him.
Good.
And then they brought him back.
Oh, he's back.
Popular fan demand. Now he's a murderer.
Look,
many
all
times
superheroes
over.
are murderers.
But anyway, he's pissed off a ton of people doing this. Look, Tom King loves that. He courts controversy.
My friend
sells
Tom King.
books. No, not your friend Tom King. Although maybe he does love controversy.
He does a bit,
Okay, yeah, well then fair enough. Tom King, your friend Tom King, and Tom King, the DC Comics writer, probably not in the same field.
No.
Overall.
Yeah.
But look, he sells books. DC keeps hiring him to do stuff. So, on their head be it.
Ben, let's just jump straight into Infinity's War.
Are we jumping straight in?
Yeah, let's just jump straight in. We've already talked about Gotham.
Look,
we were going to talk about Cloak and Dagger and Doom Patrol, but let's be honest, between the two of us, Ben, we were just filling time.
We're just filling time. We're just spinning wheels.
So we won't finish our... Bloody hell. It's one of those days. Ben, let's just talk about Endgame. Ben, now I know, Ben, that you are massively engaged and excited by any sort of box office talk. So here we go. Ben, the main question for Endgame seems to be, don't lean back and look bored, you son of a bitch, that'll affect my tone. The main question for Endgame seems to be, Benjamin, will it be the third, second, or the most successful movie of all time? Not most successful, the highest grossing. So is it going to come third, second, or first?
Who are we dethroning to do this?
In third position is Avengers Infinity War.
Okay.
Something like 2.1 billion.
Fair. High.
That's fourth.
Okay.
That's fourth. In third, it's, I think, Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Yes.
With 2.17 billion, so very close together, those two. Second is Jimmy C's Titanic. And first is Jimmy C's Blue People in Space Avatar.
Jimmy C, bankable man. I would enjoy seeing it go to the top of the list and knocking Jimmy C
down a peg.
Well, I don't think Titanic needs to be up there anymore.
Ben, I don't think any film will ever sell as many physical tickets as Titanic did. I don't think it will ever happen again.
Yeah,
we have passed that era of movie going.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Titanic sold considerably more tickets than Avatar. But
really?
Avatar came out 10 years later, and so it had inflation on its side, and it came out in 3D IMAX, so the tickets were more expensive. So although Avatar made closer to 3 billion, it had a lot of novelty on its side
involved,
a lot of inflation, and the extra expense of the 3D IMAX experience. So that's why it's unlikely. My prediction, Ben, is for Endgame to become the second highest grossing film of all time.
Won't top Avatar.
I don't think it'll top Avatar, but I think it might knock Titanic out of second place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the Hollywood industry, Ben, they refer to movies having legs.
Okay.
And Endgame is smashing opening records.
Great.
I think it's already made $1 billion.
I think it has, yeah.
Obscene.
I think I read it. Yeah.
It's absolutely obscene.
It's a lot of money.
And the revisions, the predictions for its opening weekend keep going up. Initial predictions were 850 million.
Its opening weekend isn't over until the end of today.
Yeah. Initial predictions were like 800 million. Latest revision I saw was 1.1 billion. Jesus. For its opening week. 1.1 billion, Ben.
That's a lot of money.
Crazy.
It's a lot of money.
The funny thing is, though, it's such an expensive film to make.
How much did it cost?
Nobody knows. They're not saying.
Oh.
But whatever it cost to make, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the realm of 400 million.
Okay.
Maybe even more. Double that for budget and distribution.
Okay.
It's probably going to break even this weekend.
Okay.
Which is insane when you're talking about $1 billion. Insane when you're talking about $1 billion. But there you go. That's what it's probably going to do. It's probably going to break even this weekend. And the question is, Ben, has it got legs?
Can it go the extra stretch?
Can it keep going?
Probably.
It's got some competition. There's some movies coming up. Toy Story 4 is a couple of weeks away. Toy Story 4 is there. What else is coming? There are a few others that are due to pop up. No, nothing massive.
So you're coming into the summer blockbuster. Such professionalism, Michael. Just mute your phone. Just mute your phone.
I'll mute my phone. We might get important podcast messages. Ben, anyway. No. Let's stop talking about boring box office stuff. And instead, Ben, why don't you give us a little review of the film in the voice of Mark Kermode?
Oh, that's going to be tough. It's just slipped out of my brain. So, this weekend, I went to see Marvel Avengers Endgame.
That's not bad, I think.
Look, I'm not a superhero fan. It's not my thing. But I have to say, enjoyable. I'm going to stop doing it there. That was a pretty decent marker mode.
I think it was.
For no prep. No, springing it on me there.
No prep, no warning.
Look, Michael and I have made an arrangement.
Have we?
Whereupon...
If we're not both married by 40, we will marry each other.
We're going to marry each other and just do this ad infinitum.
Yeah.
But look, we decided we're going to do the first little bit of this as a kind of from a film perspective, from a good cinematic perspective.
Yeah.
Then
we'll get into the nerd shit.
And then we'll get into the nerd shit. Because the nerd shit's coming. It is. So we're going to take it from a film perspective. I think I hazard a guess here that Michael enjoyed it more than I did.
Ben, I thought, now this is probably, to me this sounds like an interesting thought, but to the listening public this might be the most boring thought. I thought, Ben, I would have benefited from knowing a little bit more about it. Now, Ben, there is a theory out there that says that the reason... What the hell is wrong with my computer? Kodak statistics collection. I have this set so things don't pop up.
Fuck you, Kodak.
Fuck you, Kodak. I think, Ben, there's a theory that says that people enjoy movies more the more they know about it going in.
Really?
And that our current cultural obsession with not spoiling things is actually a bit counterproductive. And I think I've experienced that myself twice now. Probably my favorite Marvel movie ever, Ben, was... Do you want to guess? See how well we know each other.
Let's see. Your favorite Marvel movie ever.
Yeah, let's not...
I'm gonna have to take a look around here.
Let's not spend too long on this, because this could be very boring just listening to you thinking.
Is it Iron Man?
No, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. That makes a lot of sense.
And probably the most disappointing Marvel movie experience I had was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah, not good.
I think it was good, Ben.
No, it hasn't held up.
I think it has held up, Ben. I think it's held up better than I initially thought it was. And I think that's because until Infinity War, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was the most secretive Marvel film.
Really?
Yeah. We knew very, very little about what was going to happen in that film. The trailers were similarly just the first couple of minutes.
That's true. And
very vague. No plot detail in the trailers whatsoever. Okay. Just little quips and stuff. And I think some people, with a film of this size, I think I enjoyed it less than I should have on first viewing because I was constantly thinking, what's going to happen? I hope it's good.
You're anticipating too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's why when I left the cinema, my brain was like the Microsoft Blue Circle.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. For the group of us that went to see it, it was a very subdued group leaving the cinema. Yeah. Only friend of the podcast, Jim, was in any way
enthusiastic
over the moon about it, but he had ice cream.
He did have ice cream, yeah. He had a core sundae.
He was possibly on an ice cream dopamine kick.
Yeah, 2 scoops of chocolate fudge brownie, 1 scoop of mint chocolate sauce.
With chocolate sauce and
milk
chocolate pieces, but they didn't have any milk chocolate pieces.
Yeah.
But we now found out would take sprinkles in lieu of chocolate pieces. Would not take nuts.
No, this is podcasting gold. Jim's ice cream order. If anyone wants to sponsor Jim on our coffee account and buy Jim an ice cream.
Buy Jim a coffee.
But Ben, I found myself coming out of it not knowing if I'd enjoyed it or not.
Yeah.
But I think for that very reason.
Okay, because you were too tense.
I was analysing it. I was hoping certain things would happen. I was hoping certain other things wouldn't happen.
Okay.
And I was just constantly kind of on edge. Yeah.
I didn't experience from a cinematic point of view, Michael. I think it's actually quite a poor film.
I disagree with you.
That's fine. I think in terms of scale and special effects, I've never seen anything like it. So I think
you haven't been
on that end. I think on that end of things, well fucking done, lads. Well fucking done. I think in terms of how they allowed some character arcs to wrap up from a storytelling point of view, boo. But we'll get into that for full spoilers. We'll get into that for full spoilers because I don't want to do it there because we said we wouldn't.
Okay.
I felt the pacing in certain places, boo.
No, I disagree with you completely there.
And I felt, in terms of showing and telling with regards to stuff like that, far too much exposition for a Marvel movie that I hadn't expected before.
I disagree with you. I think that the general resolution of the story arcs, with the amount that they did, was an incredible success, with 1 or 2 exceptions, which we'll talk about later. And what you haven't talked about is I thought the acting was very good.
Yes, no, the acting was, I have to say,
across the board.
One of the interesting things I saw on the Reddit, as I was perusing post-movie, was a picture of the casting director who people were like, this is the unsung hero of the Marvel. And she really is. Like, that woman chose excellently
nearly every role
10 years ago.
Yeah.
No, not 10 years ago. For Avengers, for that one.
Yeah, well,
Well, she did all the casting really
Yeah.
outside of the Hulk. And she did a great job. Those actors have held up consistently.
The thing is, though, Ben, let's say, for example, let's look at Thor.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue that casting wasn't that great because Thor in Thor, the first one,
Okay.
was pretty stiff.
I think it was a lack of eyebrows. It was very hard to
The
tell.
blonde eyebrows was the thing. But he was quite stiff, and you could tell, or you can tell now looking back, that the actor wasn't enjoying it that much.
Yeah, because he was playing something that isn't him. It turns
Yeah.
out that Chris Hemsworth is quite good at comedy.
Yeah.
He's got a real
And-
knack for...
There's a certain thing where people have been in 7, 8, 9, 10 movies. Thor now is Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah.
not the other way around.
No.
Basically, they've changed Thor
Based
to
on Chris
suit
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth
Yeah.
rather than having Chris Hemsworth be forced into the round hole of Thor.
But that's had an amazing effect on comic sales. You shouldn't force yourself into anybody's round holes without consent, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. Ben, have you told the listeners about your new superhero identity, Safe Space?
So this is to quote a very famous quote: "Some men are born to greatness, some have it thrust upon them."
Yeah.
And this particular greatness has definitely been thrust upon me against my will, which
Yeah.
is very ironic. Once upon a time, there was a man who had something thrust upon him without his consent.
Luckily, he was saved by Safe Space.
Due to this trauma, he donned the cowl of space and became Safe Space. That's going to deafen some listeners.
Yeah, sorry, everybody.
But
But Ben, look,
Yeah.
shut up for a second.
I thought we were going to go on to a whole section.
No, we're talking about Endgame. It was good.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about it since.
since we're talking about it on a cinematic level, I just felt Infinity War, from a cinema movie point of view, storytelling, writing, etc., was a far stronger film.
I don't disagree that Infinity War was better. I like Infinity War more. Having said that, Ben, I have seen I've seen Infinity War 6 times.
6 times.
I've seen Endgame but once.
But
So
once.
It's hard to. I don't know if in Endgame is better than Infinity War or not. My initial reaction is it isn't.
Okay.
Infinity War felt tighter.
Yeah, it was a better made film.
Endgame felt a bit looser, a bit flappier, a bit more fan servicey. But
There's a reason
it might
for that
be
as
good,
well.
though. I think it might be good.
Well, we'll
Look,
find
Ben,
out.
here's the interesting thing, right? I tried to go see it again.
Did you?
I did. Friday night, I tried to go see it. Completely sold out.
Yeah, because Friday is
Everywhere.
the night.
Completely sold out. Tried to go on Saturday. Completely sold. Ben, I was trying to go on my own. I couldn't even get single tickets.
Wow.
You know the gap between couples
Wow.
that no one wants to sit in?
Yeah.
They were sold out.
Wow.
Like, on the Square, our local cinema, on the Square's movie booking website, Friday was just gone.
Amazing.
You couldn't, you clicked Avengers Friday, and you couldn't even see times. They were gone.
They were gone. Yeah, they just removed it. They were like, don't even try.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
After the podcast, Ben, I'm going to try again and maybe see a Sunday matinee.
Oh, a matinee.
A Sunday matinee, see if I enjoy it
see.
in a relaxing environment.
Do let me
Ben,
know.
now let's move on a bit here and let's talk about it as if we're nerds.
Right. Because
Right,
no
so-
one would ever believe that. What a farce. Yeah, so, look, if you haven't seen it now, we're
What are
doing
you doing? What are you still doing here?
full spoils.
Yeah.
Full spoils.
100% full spoilers.
Michael and I, by the way, do not support listening to reviews before going to films. We enjoy a review-free viewing.
Although I'm not sure because I've now said I think I would have benefited from knowing more about it before I went to see it.
Jesus. It's tough stuff. Tough stuff. Tough to figure out how
Anyway,
it works.
Ben.
Anyway.
Wasn't Fat Thor great?
Fat Thor was great. Such an interesting choice. Such an aggressively... It was fake fat, though.
Oh, yeah. It
Like,
was a
Chris
fat suit.
Hemsworth was still as jacked as ever.
Probably not.
Because there are some scenes from the shoulders up where you can tell he's still a very
still a big dude.
handsome man.
But look, Ben, that never goes away. Like, even if you get if you start looking like a melted ice cream, you'll still have those muscles under there.
Yeah. Also, Chris Pratt can't keep weight off, apparently. Very chubby Star-Lord.
Yeah.
In Endgame. He was... There was one scene where you see his stomach, and it's very clear that jacket is being kept on for strategic concealment. It was yeah... Chris Pratt only ever made that much effort for the first Guardians of the Galaxy film and can't keep it off.
Because he had a shirtless scene.
Who knew?
Benjamin, look, listen. Let's get into what we're calling this episode, Ben. I hope you like Marvel movies.
Because
Ben, I hope you like Marvel movies, because we just put some Marvel movies up in Yo Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was, Ben.
It was, look, the crux of the movie is time travel.
Well, the crux of the movie, I disagree that the crux of the movie is time travel. The crux of the second act is time travel.
Time travel.
The crux of the second act is time travel. The crux of the first act is sadness.
Time travel.
the crux of the first act, Ben, is sadness and regret.
Sadness and time travel.
And then the crux of the second act is time travel.
Sad travel.
And then the crux of the third act is mashing all of my action figures together.
Time regret.
Shut up. What was your favourite of the three acts, Ben?
I really enjoyed first act.
It's probably the best bit.
First act is the strongest bit for me. Good characterization. Interesting consequences. Good to see those characters kind of making sense of it all. Good to see the traditional superhero response, like let's get together, let's fix this, let's fucking do it. And then
they did it.
And then they did it
in the first 20 minutes.
But sadly, too late.
Yes,
they did it too late.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Thor's anger. Very genuine.
Yeah,
very very well acted.
Thor
Hemsworth got some chops.
He's got some chops. That guy.
Got some chops. That guy.
If I remember, I hollered quite loudly when he decapitated Thanos.
Yes, you were delighted. You and Jim. Jim was the only laughter to be heard in the whole cinema, and other people kind of went, "Oh,
that man's obviously a
that
psychopath.
man's got some issues." But also accurate. No blood from Thanos. Thanos doesn't bleed.
Those movies tend to be quite bloodless.
Yeah, Thanos doesn't bleed.
Well, maybe the Infinity War gauntlet dried up all his blood or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe the lightning of Stormbreaker cauterized the wound.
Yeah, look, let's call it that. Let's pin it down that. Josh Brolin's only chance to act properly in the whole film.
Yeah.
His only chance to be a good actor.
Let's be honest, Thanos in this one is a cameo.
Thanos is embarrassing compared to the role he was given in Infinity War.
Well, Infinity War was the story of Thanos as the protagonist. Yeah. This is the story of the Avengers as a protagonist, and Thanos is just the classic Marvel villain.
I don't know if you had to reduce him to such a cardboard cutout.
That's
all he is.
He's the villain.
Ridiculously overpowered all of a sudden.
We'll get to that
in a second.
No, hold on. I disagree with you there. I don't think he was overpowered. I think the film went to good lengths to make the heroes less powered.
Fat Thor.
Thor got fat.
Yeah.
Captain America never would have been able to take on Thanos.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Iron Man didn't particularly want to be there. He'd settled down to a happy life. He hadn't been Iron Manning for 5 years.
Okay, so we made a decent effort there to show out of shape heroes. Okay.
Basically, yeah.
And
so there's no reason to believe that Thanos wouldn't have been able to beat them.
Yeah.
And remember, he handily beat them all. He beat
when he had the glove.
Yeah, but
when he had the gauntlet.
The gauntlet.
The Infinity Glove would be a terrible film.
He only used the gauntlet against Doctor Strange, if you remember. He used the Power Stone to beat Iron Man, but he was beating him up pretty handy before that anyway. Thor surprised him and stuck an axe in his chest. There's nothing to say he couldn't hold his own against the three of them. Especially if they were in some way reduced. Captain America obviously was powered up.
Yeah, by a particularly
that was
good.
Great.
Yeah, that was good.
But yeah, Thor was fat and Iron Man was out of the game.
Thor has caused uproar.
I know the social justice aren't happy about fat shaming him.
Fat shaming, yeah. This is one thing, but also fanboys are like, "That's not Thor. Thor would lose the weight," and it was like, "No, it's a bit, lads. Leave it alone.
It's a character development.
Leave it a bit." But there was a whole thing. It was like, how could you make the God of Thunder fat? It's like because he's in a deep depression.
Yeah, he went off and got drunk for 5 years.
I think many people are admiring the mental health aspect of it, where this man just can't get out of it. He's clearly in a downward spiral, and he's just stuck there. He's like an alcoholic. He's very, very overweight. It's interesting to see that split that he's caused. I didn't mind Fat Thor. I thought Fat Thor was pretty good.
A very canny use of marketing as well that they hid it.
Yeah, they didn't show. Well, we only ever saw the first 15 minutes in trailers, as it turns out.
Well, we did see some of the going in the quantum suits. So that we're only using the first 15 minutes was a bit of a lie.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Like we did see the bit with Ant-Man vaulting on a pencil, and that was from the end.
Classic.
But yeah, full of twists and turns.
Yeah, so I think time travel was the big sell of the thing. I think it's fair to say that you and I have been very critical of time travel in the
Ben,
past.
look, we did a whole episode about why it's a load of bollocks.
We did. I think that almost holds up here.
Almost.
But for sentimentality and fan service.
Look, let me break it down for you, Ben.
Yeah.
In this universe, if you travel back in time...
So we should preface this by saying I did not understand
okay.
time travel that was established.
I'm going to get annoyed at you for not understanding this.
I struggle big time with time travel because
it's not real, Ben.
I need a graph to show me how it works.
Do you want me to do a graph?
No, it's okay. I don't want to make you overwork for this. But the way the next section of the podcast is going to work is Mick is going to do his best.
I'm becoming increasingly
to
frustrated.
Be patient
I'm
and
not.
kind.
I can't guarantee that.
And explain to me how it worked. Because I had many questions upon leaving the cinema.
Look, Ben, because time travel doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And is theoretically impossible.
Yeah.
When you're making a movie about time travel,
Yeah.
the only thing I ask of you
Yeah.
is that it be internally consistent.
Right.
So if you're doing a film where time travel is possible,
Uh-huh.
make your own rules
Okay.
and then stick to them, you son of a bitch.
Do they do that effectively in Avengers Endgame?
During the film, I thought no. Post the film, I think maybe.
Don't you fucking dare.
We'll see. Look, let
Don't
me...
you fucking
Stop
dare.
swearing so much.
No. It's Endgame, baby.
We're going to talk about... Okay, right. So in the film, right?
Yeah.
If you go back in time and you remove something from the time... If you go back in time, the present, as it were, becomes your future. So
Right.
you can't go back in time, change something, come back to your time, and changes have happened.
So you cannot affect your past.
You cannot affect your present by changing your past.
Okay, you can't go backwards to fix stuff now.
No, exactly.
Right.
If you go backwards and fix stuff and then come back to your present will be exactly the same. What you will have done is created a divergent timeline.
A split. Right.
So that's how time travel works.
In the Marvel Universe.
In the Marvel Universe. Not in real life.
Right.
Some theories say if time travel were possible, that's how it would work.
Yeah.
But it probably wouldn't. Look, it's a load of bollocks, Ben. Time travel, a load of bollocks.
Okay, so
right? If you go back and you take a stone from the past and come to the present with it, the present isn't changed by your actions in the past.
Okay.
Right? Now, the reason you can't just do that willy-nilly is the sorcerers know about this and they don't find it very pleasant.
As evidenced by Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton, and if you remember in Guardians of the Doctor Strange,
Nailed it.
Baron Mordo had a freak out when he found out about people using time travel to fix problems.
Yeah, because
that's why he turns bad. He's like, you can create time loops, quantum irregularities, divergent timelines.
QLF boy did not enjoy that at all.
He won't enjoy the way you've massacred his name.
Is that not his name?
Tweetlejeefer.
Both of us are probably wrong there in some form. Yeah. So the main explanation of how time travel works is, first of all, given to you by Nerd Hulk
Tilda Swinton
when he's having a conversation with Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
And she explains how they're going to handle time travel for this movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that's one of the most important scenes because they go, look, this is how we're doing it. Doesn't matter. I also enjoyed the bashing of other movies.
That was funny.
Loved Paul Rudd in this film.
He was very good.
Fucking loved him.
Yeah.
Thought he was brilliant. Almost one of the best things about it, because he's such an everyman character. One of my favourite scenes in this film is when the three different characters land. The ship lands with Nebula and Rocket. Iron Man or War Machine drops in out of nowhere, and what's the other guy? Who's the other guy? That comes in? Falcon. Falcon walks by, and he goes, and he's just like, "Oh Jesus!" He's scared shitless, and it's just amazing. But he also has the best line in the entire film: "Is Back to the Future is bullshit." And it's great. They just do a whole bashing. He just acts as everybody else, and that scene is really important in saying, look, anything you think you know about time travel doesn't apply to this film.
Yes, because we're going to tell you the rules.
And they do.
And here are the rules.
So, that's fine.
Is
you
it?
Can't do that.
Well,
Keep going.
first of all, it's not fine.
Okay, it's not fine. Sorry.
The reason it's not fine is, Ben, we've talked about this before. We talked about it, but last week, when we were talking about the magic order, is if you're going to create tension in films, you can't give a cure for things going wrong. And now, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has a way to solve anybody's problems with time travel.
But it doesn't.
It does.
Oh.
They still have a time platform, and Hank Pym is alive to make more Pym particles. Even if Hank Pym wasn't alive to make more Pym particles, you can just continually go to the past and get more Pym particles,
Which won't affect your present.
Exactly.
Because you've created an altered timeline, so you can constantly go back
to the same point. Yeah. Just don't bump into yourself.
and just do it again.
Yeah.
And again.
Yeah.
And again.
Yes. Now, presumably a sorcerer would try and stop you. It would be, I think, the responsibility of the Sorcerer Supreme to stop you
Doctor
from
Strange
doing
would be
that.
there slapping you about.
I think that's...
Or Tilda Swinton. Tildy Swints.
Or Tildy Swints, or whoever was Sorcerer Supreme before them.
Which she was the ancient one for a long old time.
Yeah,
She
a couple
was
of thousand
Supreme.
years.
Yeah,
so
any modern attempt would probably be Tildy Swints giving you now SmackDown.
Yeah, but she's easily convinced, it turns out.
Yeah, all you have to do is say Benedict Cumberbatch said it was grand.
Yeah.
And
the
she's
actor
like,
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
I do love Bendy Comes. That was unintentional.
Brilliant.
Apologies.
Whoop. Yeah, so presumably, Ben, that is one of the reasons that the Time Stone exists. And the sorcerers would hopefully stop you doing that.
Yeah, sure.
If that's why time travel isn't possible.
Yeah.
They've kind of closed it off well enough. But that's me coming up with this explanation. That's not in the movie.
Yeah, see, that's not explained in the movie. So where I struggle with this...
Go on.
It's
like, Ben, you know when they thought we only have enough Pym particles to go back in time once and try this once?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just go back,
grab more,
grab loads more,
and do this a bunch of times?
Exactly.
Get it run. Get a perfect run.
Yeah.
I'm assuming...
Mm-hmm.
Because that wouldn't suit the film.
Yes, that's why, Ben.
But also, okay, so I have two questions as a result of this theory, which I think is actually a pretty solid theory and has cleared up many things for me.
Right, go on.
Thank you very much.
Look, go on.
Gamora.
Yeah.
New Gamora. 2014 Gamora.
Yes.
She's been plucked from an alternate timeline.
No.
Okay. Go.
She came from our timeline.
The original
timeline. She travelled forward.
Right.
Or was plucked. It doesn't really matter. Her and Thanos and all that whole army leaving 2014 creates an alternative timeline branching off from 2014. Okay. But that's an alternative timeline. Our 2014 to 2023 still happened.
Okay.
So they didn't leave in our timeline.
Because our past doesn't affect our present.
Our past does affect our present. But that's not our past. That's their future.
Okay.
That's relatively consistent too.
Round two.
Here's the issue.
Yeah.
If you can do that, you should be able to time travel and get Black Widow back.
That's what I was going to ask you next. So, why can we not get Black Widow back? There's no reason.
There's no reason.
She had to sacrifice herself in the film, and that was it. Okay, fair enough.
But not only why can we not get Black Widow back, Steve could have gone back to the past and got Peggy and brought her to the future.
This is the one I wanted.
Steve,
this is my next one.
They could have gone back and got Yondu. They could have.
They can save anyone they feel like and drag them into the present and have anything go. And it doesn't affect that old timeline because that would split and diverge into a new timeline. So it would have no
ramifications on the main hour timeline.
Which is why Nebula shoots herself in the chest.
And it's fine.
In
Back to the Future logic, our Nebula would have disappeared doing that. But that wasn't... You can't change your present by changing the past.
Right. Fucking bullshit.
No, it's fine.
No, it's all horseshit.
No, that is absolutely fine.
No, it's the laziest writing they possibly could have come up with. They should never have done time travel. What a load of bullshit.
If time travel is possible, that is most likely how it would work. That is not bullshit. Now, here's the thing.
What about the philosophical ramifications of borrowing people from time? They're not actually your one.
Well,
there's an alternate one.
No, they are. Well, there is no your one, Ben.
Well, see, this is the thing now.
If you want to be that philosophical about it, there is no your person.
Okay, fine.
Because yes, for example, it sets up Guardians of the Galaxy 3 to have to do a reintroduction
Search
of
for
Gamora,
Gamora.
which is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, because she was kind of a boring character in Guardians of the Galaxy.
You could argue that.
Yeah, she was.
But it does, again, what might close the loop is that for the 5 years that they were attempting to do this, there was no Sorcerer Supreme. Because
So there was no block.
So there was no block. There was no Time Stone.
But in future,
When the
Stephen
time,
Strange will go,
or just even perhaps the presence of the Time Stone is what stops it from being possible.
oh, the time stone automatically it autocorrects.
Yeah, but now there is no Time Stone anymore.
Is it not? Do we get
No.
rid of them completely?
Well, he sends it back in time.
He sends it back in time. They put them back.
No, but that means when Thanos clicked his fingers, there's no more Time Stone. So there is no Time Stone anymore, so that might be why time travel is possible.
That was another interesting thing that came up to me. At the beginning of the film, Thanos is weakened and defeated because he's destroyed the stones.
Yes.
Then Tilda Swinton says that's not possible because that's what keeps the balance of the universe
Yeah.
in place. So how the fuck did he destroy the stones with no serious ramifications?
Yeah. Well, maybe one of the ramifications is time travel is now possible willy-nilly.
Oh. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, we've said it before. We've said it again. Time travel is bullshit.
Yeah, look, don't get mixed up in time travel.
Yeah, it makes it very convoluted. Like it's causing. In some ways, I'm sure the internet is delighted because all I have read this week is how did that happen in Avengers? How does time travel work in Avengers?
Yeah, it gives
like,
a lot
they
of
just go for miles.
A lot of clickbait articles.
But they a lot of them get it wrong. A lot of these people clearly watched the movie and jotted down some ideas after the movie and they missed parts. And
Well, maybe we're wrong.
Well, no, absolutely, but we're not. But
Well, maybe we are.
maybe we are. But some of the journalists just clearly got the wrong end of the stick altogether.
Journalists
in different places.
should have been in air quotes there, Ben.
Fair.
Look, listen. It's always a minefield with time travel. It's always a minefield with anything that can undo losses. Yeah. Especially in a shared universe.
Shouldn't have been
Ben,
done.
let's talk about ramifications.
Ramifications. Yeah. So
Go on.
Sorry. Let's
No,
look
you-
at the big three. Because this is the swan song for at least...
Well, the big six, I think it's fair to talk about all of them.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's talk about the original lineup. The original Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
We have... we'll come to the big three at the end. We'll do
Okay.
Hawkeye first.
Yeah.
Get the fam back.
Gets the family back, retires. Presumably, a lot of people are very angry at him.
He was already retired. People are going to hate him.
Yeah.
He's a big old murderer.
Hopefully that'll be what his own series is about.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that worked out well
It'll just be him on a ranch.
because he became a vigilante, killed a lot of criminals. Presumably, some of them are going to want revenge. Although I think the plot point might be that he didn't leave anyone who would be able to track him down.
Yeah.
You know, the son of someone could come back and try
Someone
and get
saw him
him
through a window, perhaps.
Yeah. So
Yeah, classic.
I think that was
kind of
satisfying.
Keanu Reeves round three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every large role that Hawkeye has had in Avengers movies seems like an apology for his mistreatment in the previous one.
Yeah, that's all Hawkeye
his,
gets.
His big role
Sorry.
in Age of Ultron was an apology for being brainwashed for most of Avengers. Yeah. And then his big role in this was his apology for not being in Endgame.
Yeah, at
or
all.
Infinity War, yeah.
So, Natasha, Gonzo.
Surprising, I thought.
Didn't think she'd be the one to do it.
No.
Thought he should be the one to do it.
But
Not
he is
really
a fan.
sure why she did it.
Because she has red in her ledger. She owed him one for taking the right choice in Budapest.
Bullshit.
I thought it was all right.
Nah.
They really like throwing women off that cliff.
They do, yeah.
I think she landed in the same
Frigid.
position as
Yeah, no, she did. That was the whole
They cliffed her.
point, I think.
I like that the Red Skull gave them exactly the same speech.
One of the most fascinating things to do with time travel means Captain America has to deal with the Red Skull.
That's
Round
the thing.
two.
How does he give him back the Soul Stone?
That'll be fucking...
When he gives him back the Soul Stone, does that mean Natasha comes back? It's a soul for a soul.
Yeah.
And who knows, Ben?
Who knows? Is
Time
that
travel.
how the series is going to pop up? Is
I don't know.
she going to have... Yeah, anyway.
Is her movie going to be a prequel now? Who knows?
I think it might be Natasha comes back
Possibly.
as part of the trade. Anyway, sorry, moving on from there. Hulk. Didn't like Hulk's characterization in this one. Didn't need Professor Hulk in a Marvel movie.
I thought he was great.
He was great comedic relief. I feel really cheated by no Thanos round 2.
Yeah, well, no one cares if you feel cheated.
No, I know. But from a fanboy point of view,
Yeah, well,
from a sheerly irrational...
Get over it. Be a grown-up.
No, I don't want to. That's how
Hulk-
comics works.
Hulk had a very satisfying 3 movie arc.
Oh no, it was good in terms of characterization, but I did want to see him kick the shit out of Thanos.
Yeah, everyone did.
I assumed when he beat the big three
Mhm.
that Hulk would step up for round 2, and because
Yeah,
he didn't
but
have...
Hulk's moment of redemption was he did the click.
He did the click, yeah.
He undid the click.
Burned the crap out of himself.
Could you get a bigger revenge on Thanos than that?
Yeah, he got click number 1.
Yeah, Thanos punched him around a bit, but then Hulk literally undid
his life's
Thanos' life work.
Yeah.
There's your revenge.
Hey.
That's a much better revenge.
Yeah,
then.
okay, fair enough. Good for him.
Ben, as you and Can say, revenge, and Shakespeare, revenge is a dish best served cold.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. Then moving on to the big three lads. Iron Man. Bloody...
Look, Ben, I wasn't that sad that Iron Man died. I thought
We
it
saw
was
it coming.
it was a satisfying end of his story.
He made
from
the big sacrifice.
10 years ago in a cave to making the big sacrifice to save the whole universe, being the one to lay
Lived a good
down
life.
on the No, he did good, and I thought that was a very satisfying resolution.
Gwyneth Paltrow Iron Suit, go fuck itself. Awful.
I don't know why you would say that.
Very irritating.
I don't think it was
I
at all.
just don't like Gwyneth Paltrow.
I think you just don't like women.
I'm actually quite a fan of women, but just not Gwyneth Paltrow.
I don't know. I thought it was fine. It was a little moment. She's been there since the beginning, Ben.
She deserves a suit.
I think she was the second Marvel character on screen, possibly.
Really?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
She might have been. And she got her little superhero moment.
Where was Jon Favreau's suit? Where was Happy's suit? Huh?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
I miscounted and I thought there were 4 Iron Men floating around. Who's the 4th one? But I think it was Star-Lord.
Yeah, probably. He did look very similar on occasion. Thor, off on his Guardians of the Galaxy kick. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be interesting, I think.
Thor has had a very interesting character arc to desperately wanting to be king but not being worthy, to then feeling not ready to be king, to then feeling not worthy,
To realising he should never have been king.
but then realizing he can be king,
Yeah.
and then realizing he's just all over the place.
That was...
But he has a very long life.
Yeah, so he could come back. Come back.
If he's in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and it's called As Guardians of the Galaxy, I will be very happy.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And then the one that pissed me off the most, the one that I just felt...
Well, Ben, you just seem very angry.
No, the one that just really annoyed me from a character point of view was Captain America.
Why? He got his dance, Ben.
Yeah, but I don't know where this huge longing for Peggy Carter came from in movie number 3.
Because he's always had it.
No. He
always
had
the bloody thing around.
Yeah, that was the
He was
first time
gonna
we've seen the carried bloody thing around.
No, it wasn't. He was going to ride her niece.
That was weird. That has all kinds of complications, but we won't get into that.
Oh.
First of all, one of the things I enjoyed the most was where Captain America faces himself and he goes, "I could do this all day." He goes, "Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. And
there was barely a line in that movie that wasn't a throwback.
Yeah.
Just to while we're talking about Captain America, the teased elevator fight averted by Cap saying "Hail Hydra"
Hail
to sit
Hydra.
well was sublime.
Yeah, it was very well done.
Mamma mia!
Yeah, it was very
That's
well done.
a spicy meatball.
Yeah, it was very well done. That is America's ass.
Yeah.
Great line.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it was great. It was fun to see a jaded Captain America, the guy who's been doing duty for his entire life. I get all that. What I don't get is how he stops his previous version by going, "Bucky's alive," right?
Because, Ben, but we know exactly why that worked.
Yeah, we did it in that particular case, right?
All right.
I get that.
Yeah.
But then he just leaves Bucky.
When?
In the present.
Yeah, but like things have been resolved with Bucky.
Why did he take Bucky back?
Why would he take Bucky back? Bucky's happy where he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
Says who?
Bucky.
Since when?
Off screen.
Get fucked.
No, look, he's like, do you remember when Bucky says to him, "Don't do anything stupid"? Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, Bucky says to Steve, "Don't do anything stupid." No, Steve says to Bucky, "Don't do anything stupid." And Bucky says, "How can I? You're taking all the stupid with you."
Yeah, fair enough.
That's a throwback to Captain America 1.
He knew
what
that
Steve was
Captain
going to do.
wasn't going to come back.
Yeah.
I get that. That makes sense.
When we were watching that scene, my good lady friend said, "Oh, just kiss."
That's fair. Very fair. How does Captain America come back?
Yeah, now this might be
timeline?
bullshit, but I'm not sure. We're back into the technicalities here, unfortunately, rather than the plot.
Sorry.
I think so by the rules that they established, and this upset me when we watched it, by the rules that they established, he can't have done that.
Yeah.
Because if he travelled to our past...
That's what I understood.
Then he would have changed our past, and that would...
Divergent timeline.
Exactly.
So he went off with Peggy Carter.
Exactly. And we know that Peggy Carter didn't marry him and live with him.
Do we know?
Well, maybe we don't know
because
that.
it's a mystery man in the TV show, isn't it?
No.
Her husband is a...
No, she doesn't mention a husband. Well, there's a whole... I don't remember.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway, look. Unless crinkly old Steve Rogers was at her funeral.
Yeah.
Look.
So the idea here is that he goes back
pretending
and there's
to have
two
Alzheimer's.
Captain Americas in that timeline. There's one in the ice and one living it up in the 40s.
With her.
Yeah.
Now, my theory, the way I can reconcile this, is he basically created a divergent timeline and lived in that divergent timeline with Peggy until she died, and then put the stone back and closed off the divergent timeline.
Okay.
Which is very cruel.
It's not Steve Right. This is what I mean. This theory had occurred to me. If that's the case, it goes against everything that Captain America
very
stands
selfish.
for.
Yeah, very selfish.
Goes against everything they've built up over several movies. I've said it before. The two Captain America movies that the Russo brothers did are by and far two of my favorites of the entire run. I love the Captain America character that they created. If he did that, if he obliterated a timeline for a dance,
well, a life.
For a dance.
For a life.
For a dance. He didn't
dance
know her that
is code
well.
word for sex.
He didn't... Yeah, I know. Yeah. Getting the ride. I don't think he ever got the ride in present time. Did he? It's never really...
Apparently, I think Scarlett Johansson said in an interview that Cap and Black Widow had been during the 5 years...
That'd be intense.
Not during the 5 years. During the years between Civil War and Infinity War. You know, when they were on the lam.
Good man. Of course you would. Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Just as like a bit of companionship.
Yeah,
they weren't in love.
They weren't in love.
Just
yeah. That's for anyone that misses that gorgeous movement. There.
You know what I'm doing.
But yeah, if that's how it works,
yeah.
And it seems like the most logical version that butchers a character to me,
because it either damages the character or breaks its own rules of time travel. Pick one. Pick one. Which one do you want?
I would prefer that it didn't damage the character,
now,
and we didn't get to see Old Man Steve.
Yeah, but where did he get the shield? Did he steal that from a timeline?
Yeah, we're just allowed to do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you can just go around stealing shields, why can't you go around stealing Natasha Romanoff's?
Look.
The thing is, though,
time travel.
If you think about Natasha Romanoff's character, if you went back in time and told her, look, you make a big sacrifice to save the universe, come with me and we'll circumvent it, she'd be like, nah.
No, I'll just do it.
I'll just do it. Get out of here.
She's really not a happy person. Yeah.
So that actually makes a bit of sense. Ben, what did you think about when the women teamed up?
Yeah, so I've had some thought on this, right?
Not a thought.
No, because I initially had a very shoehorned response. I didn't like it, but then someone pointed out to me, someone that I know who saw it, who has a young daughter.
Yeah.
And he said, my little girl lit up when she saw that. I went, okay.
My lady friend loved it too.
Okay. In that case, that's fine. It is pandery, but so is all comic book movies. I was a little bit over the top when I reacted to it. Right? Yeah. I get that.
Oh, here comes
but
the
then
butt.
I think,
no.
I think in terms of characterization, they fucked it up again. Because
no.
That woman's team is then completely ineffective.
Well, everyone gets beaten.
Except for Captain Marvel.
No, she gets...
Who just blitzes through the entire army.
Yeah, but then she gets blown up. I thought she died. There was a second where I was genuinely worried. That was one of my moments of genuine worry that she was going to come in at the end.
And Deus Ex
a
Machina.
Literal Deus Ex Machina.
Did.
Yeah, but she didn't.
She took out that ship that was going to cause a ton of damage.
She did take out the ship, but then Thanos did beat her and got rid of her.
No bother. I think she lost some of her power. There's a weird scene where she's fighting with the glove and there's something being...
No, she was winning.
Absorbed. No, but there's something being absorbed off her.
I didn't think
Did
that.
You see that.
No, I thought that was the energy, her energy fighting the glove's energy, and then Thanos tries to headbutt her, and
it doesn't work at all.
Yeah. And then he just sneaks the Power Stone out and blasts her with her, and that seems to take her out of the fight.
Yeah.
But she gave him she got the best. I don't know. The person who comes closest to beating him 1-on-1 is Scarlet Witch, which I'm fine with. Because
Yeah, 'cause
Scarlet
she's-
Witch has history.
Yeah, she has a lot of right. That was a good scene where he has to concede. He's like, "Just do it,
Just blow everything up. This woman is going to kill me.
sire, our forces."
There was some other moments
Yeah,
as
that
well.
was a good moment of panic where it was like, "Look, we have to do this." Or
I'm going to lose. Did you notice that when Proxima Midnight, the lady Thanos follower...
Minerva.
No, what?
Is it not Minerva? Did we
No,
not throw that
Minerva
name?
is Gemma Chan from
Thank you.
Captain
There
Marvel.
we go. Cool.
Did you notice that when Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive were disappearing at the end, her husband,
Yeah.
they were in the same position as Scarlet Witch and Vision when they disappeared?
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh.
But the whole film was just that. The whole film, every moment of that
Was a
film
callback.
is a callback to
Yeah.
another Marvel film. Not callbacks to the comics so much. Callbacks to...
There are nice little
The
nods
films.
here and there to the comics.
But mostly the films.
Nerd Hulk is a big comic nod.
I think that was too big a thing to just call it a nod.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
like, you know,
Nerd
just
Hulk was an arc.
a character
that they decided
arc.
to take. Hail Hydra was a great nod to that very controversial run in Captain
that was
America.
good. Yeah.
Also, just hilarious callback to the film. I love the smug look on his face when he walks away from the elevator. He's just like, got him.
I'm not in Hydra.
Fucking sons of bitches. I think that shows a great. I thought that showed great growth in Captain America's character, because back in the day it would have been like, no, that's bad, I'm going to take it out.
Yeah.
And this
He
time it's
swears
like,
a bit.
well, I can actually use it to my advantage.
Well,
here.
he
becomes more of a spy.
he very disreputably beats his past self.
Yeah, no bother.
He uses
Yeah.
a trick that he knows works on him
Yeah,
to beat his past self.
yeah.
And then he tricks Hydra, and he's the real tricky dicky.
He's a real tricky dicky.
He's more of a Richard Nixon than a who's a good president. JFK. He was probably bad.
Obama?
Is he good? It doesn't matter. Ben, what do you think is going to happen in Spider-Man Far From Home? Is it going to be set 5 years later? Is it set in 2023?
As I said to you, I think it is the time jump. I do think we're going to adhere to that.
And it's going to be set in 2023 or 2024
I think so.
when things have kind of re-established.
Yeah, because he's on a holiday.
If you take,
He's on a holiday.
but if you take away half the population of the world for 5 years,
It's gone.
like that changes society so incredibly. And then if
Imagine
all of those
putting
people just come
Yeah.
back,
Come back.
like what? Imagine all the marriages that broke up, all the kids who
Well,
grew up without
that's-
their parents.
That's what one of the Russo brothers says in his little cameo, is that his husband was gone.
Yeah.
And he was going on dates.
Gone on dates. What's he going to do now? What about all the people who remarried? What about world food production?
People who fucking moved on.
Yeah. What about the food production? Who's going to feed 3.5
Because that
billion?
hasn't been maintained.
3.5 billion people just appeared overnight. Who's
Like,
going to
those
feed
houses
them?
were in a jock from what I saw. Like, it's a big ramification.
Ben,
Unless Tony Stark did an old mega click. Like, we don't know the exact ramifications.
What did Tony Stark do?
Tony Stark,
What did he do when he clicked it?
he clicks and sends Thanos,
And
his army
he zapped
away.
Thanos, yeah,
but we don't know the exact ramifications
of what he did.
of his click. He's the smartest man on Earth. In the Marvel MCU,
I don't know. Sure, he might be smarter.
the smartest man with the gauntlet that could have possibly had the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Okay, we have that here and there, but we don't know that for a fact. The smartest man in the room with the power to do something is him. We don't know what he wished for.
So he could have fixed
He
everything.
could have come up with, and he loves a formula. He loves a simulation. We don't know if he doubled the resources on the planet. We don't know if he effectively put everything back the way, because he could. And we don't know if he just sent that Thanos back to his timeline to do what he was. I don't think he erased that Thanos from existence.
Yeah,
I
he
think
did.
he just put him back in his regular timeline.
No, that's not necessary.
Is it not necessary?
No, that doesn't.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
But still, though, Ben, we watched the TV series The Leftovers, and that was about the 5-year ramifications of 2% of the world disappearing. But 50%.
What I think what's more interesting is 50% of the universe disappeared for a while.
Yes, Ben, what the heck is going to happen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6?
Who cares?
What the heck is going to happen in Cloak and Dagger Season 3?
I think that's sadly probably the biggest thing I'm going to take away from Endgame is I don't necessarily give a fuck about that universe anymore now. What I wanted to see signed off on has been signed off on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but there's still movies coming.
But I don't know if I care.
About the movies? Are you done? Is that what you're saying? You and the mentor, you were done professionally?
I'll probably see them again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not... One of the things I enjoyed about the Spider-Man movies was the interaction with Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have Nick Fury now.
Not the same.
Look, Ben, I am both interested and slightly upset about where it's going.
Is the new Captain Marvel film going to be all about her maintaining in the 5 years?
In the 2023?
Where she says, I'm spread pretty thin over thousands of planets?
I hope not. I don't like the idea of giving us an ending and then filling in that 5-year gap.
Do I have to see that haircut a lot more?
It wasn't great, was it?
No, it was awful.
Have you seen Brie Larson's stunt double? Brie Larson's stunt double looks more like Captain Marvel.
They'd never give it to her.
No, because she's not an actress. She's a stunt double.
Yeah.
But she has.
She does look very like herself.
She does really look like the comic Captain Marvel.
I thought she did all her own stunts.
Oh, don't get into that.
Yeah, but anyway, look. Final thoughts on it.
Ben, I was disappointed in a couple of things.
I was
disappointed that Lady Sif didn't come back.
I didn't care about that.
I was disappointed that we didn't get the Abomination. I was disappointed
that.
I really wanted the Abomination to come through one of the portals and just go, "Rah, rah." That would have been amazing. I was disappointed that I think in 20 years they'll do a DVD special edition director's cut where they insert Lady Sif, the Runaways,
Star Wars effect.
Yeah, where they put when the portal to New York opens, Punisher will come through with them and Daredevil. So
Such
easy
a
to do with.
ridiculous thought.
Oh, it was completely ridiculous, but so easy to do with CGI. And they just put them in. It wouldn't need anything. You would just need Sif to walk through, then insert her in the bit with the ladies with her little sword going, I'm also here.
It'd be a nice callback. Yeah. It left me a bit hollow in places, I'll be honest.
Well,
in terms of fan service, spectacular film.
You're very bitter.
In terms of... It's true.
You're a bitter man.
In terms of wrapping up something that people were so invested in, giving them what they want, good, solid call on a lot of that. For comic book fans, I can't think of anything better. I don't know if it'll hold up in 5 years as anything other than a spectacle. I don't know how well it operates outside of the hype machine that it's become.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that's the whole no spoilers thing.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
We'll see. Yeah, I'll see you here in 5 years. We'll do a review. But or we can just quickly do a time jump. Let's do
a time jump.
Let's do a pan. So, but yeah, I mean, good film for Marvel fans.
Hope you like Marvel films.
Hope you like Marvel films.
We put some Marvel films up in your Marvel film.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, if you saw Endgame, let us know down below what you thought of it. Or better yet, let us know in the DMs, because no spoilers. We're not big fans of that here. It's a bit early.
Look, the internet is spoiling it now. We are actually, if anything, slightly late with
our spoilers. But look, give us a shout. Let us know what you thought. We are on iTunes. We are on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on SoundCloud. If you're still into SoundCloud. Mick's new rap debut album, Mumble Rap. Mick to the L is coming out pretty soon.
We're going to go now.
Yeah, that's just a taste of what you can expect from that spectacular album. So yeah, give us a follow. Thank you to the people who have been giving us reviews on iTunes, by the way.
Yeah,
we have a few now. We really appreciate it.
Except that one that called you a racist.
Well, I am a racist. A committed racist, bigot, homophobe, and misogynist.
Yeah.
All rolled into one. Yeah. Classic Ben. Anyway, bye.
What an ending.
I don't feel so good.